Hey guys, it's me, Teacher Jane, and welcome to my channel. For today's topic, we are going to discuss about summation or sigma notation. For today's objectives, we are going to learn how to expand a given summation, express the summation of a given sum of variables, evaluate the given summation. Lesson 1. The summation process. Sigma notation is a more concise way to express the sum of a series from a sub 1 to a sub n. To use a summation notation or sigma notation. So the Greek letter, this symbol, is called as sigma. This tells us to sum up or add up the terms. So these terms are first term, second term, third term, and then the last term. N signifies the number of terms. The Greek capital letter sigma that indicates the sum of or the summation of is used in the process to add certain numerical values. This is used to solve the sum of a series given in its nth term formula. Example: consider the scores obtained by 10 students in a 50 items mathematics test. Student 1 got the score of 35, student 2 got the score of 40, student 3 is 29, student 4 37, student 5 25, student 6 is 33, student 7 49, student 8 47, student 9 28, and student 10 is 42. Let X be the score obtained by each student. X sub I are the different values or observations of X. So here, in the given sample problem, we have 10 observations. And this is denoted as X sub 1, X sub 2, X sub 3, X sub 4, up to X sub 10. To write this as a summation, this symbol sigma notation, here is the formula X sub I, and n is what we called as the number of values given, or this tells you which number or which series is the end. And then I here below indicates you the start of the summation. So we call it as index of summation. And this X sub I is the formula. So meaning you're going to add up X sub I from first observation up to the 10th observation. So since we have 10 observations, so we are going to write that as uh, the summation of X sub I from that range from X sub 1 to x sub 10. So to substitute the data, x sub 1 to x sub 10, papalitan ninyo lang yung values nito. Ayan. And then add, so we will get 365. Another example. From x sub 1 to x sub 10, I have here their corresponding values. So let's find out the sum or give the summations of the following. First one, give the sum of x sub I that has 4 observations that ranges from x sub 1 to x sub 4. And then here, 6 observations that range from x sub 3 to x sub 6. So how are we going to write that as formula? So this becomes x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 plus x sub 4. Then substitute the values. X sub 1 is 2. Dito natin kinuha yon. X sub 2 is 1. X sub 3 is 10. X sub 4 is 7. So, yan na. Sinubstitute na natin yung value ng x. And then, the summation of x sub I that ranges x sub 1 up to x sub 4 is 20. Next, we have, so since the index of summation starts with 3, so we will start with x sub 3 up to the x sub 6. Then, substitute the values. X sub 3 is 10. Dito natin kinuha sa table. X sub 4 is 7. X sub 5 is 4. X sub 6 is 6. So, doon natin yan kinuha. Then, add 10 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6. We get 27. So, let's try. Suppose we have the following given, x sub 1 to x sub 3, x sub 4 to x sub 6, x sub 7 to x sub 10. So, the summation of x sub I that ranges from 1 to 10. So, ganun lang din. Ito naman, x sub I that range from x sub 1 to x sub 6. So, ganun lang ulit ang ating solution. Dahil ang formula lang naman natin ay x sub I, so ibig sabihin, i-enter lang natin or i-add lang natin yung mga values ng x sub I. So, substitute, then get the sum, we will get 83. So, here, x sub 1, 2. So, hanggang lang siya, saan lang siya matatapos? 2, x sub 6. Kasi hanggang 6 lang yung ating n. And then, substitute the values. Then, add 2 plus 1 plus 10 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6. We will get 30. Now, let's proceed with lesson 2. Writing summation as a sum and vice versa. Example. Express each of the following as a sum. So, ito yung kanina na given. I denotes the index of summation. X sub I is the formula. And then, 7 here is the n or the number of values. Next, so to sum up, so we will get x sub 1, dahil x sub I siya, start sa 1. So, x sub 1 hanggang x 7. So, for letter B, kung mapapansin nyo, yung ating formula ay naka-raise to 3. So, ganun lang din. So, ibig sabihin, yung x sub I natin, ang gagawin lang natin is i-raise din natin into 3. So, in this case, ang index of summation natin is 2. So, ibig sabihin lang, mag-start ka with x sub 2 and matatapos ka with x sub 5. Ayun. So, x sub 2, cube. Ayan. X sub 3, cube. X sub 4, cube. X sub 5, cube. How about here, number 3, x sub 1 minus 2. Sorry, x sub I minus 2. So, ibig sabihin, yung formula natin, ito, start tayo sa range ng x sub 1, lahat yon ay isasubtract natin by 2. So, hanggang saan lang tayo matatapos? Hanggang sa 3. So, x sub I minus 2. So, x sub 1 minus 2 plus x sub 2 minus 2 plus x sub 3 minus 2. So, natapos tayo sa index natin na 3. Ayan. And then, nag-start tayo sa 1. Another. Okay, halimbawa, vice versa naman, kabaliktaran naman. So, katulad nito, yung kanina, yung binigay natin, kung ang given ay x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, to x sub 10. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ito lang yung formula na gagawa natin. So, x sub I, kasi nag-start siya sa 1, and then nag-end siya sa 10. So, 10 is our n. And then, dahil nag-start siya sa 1, yun ang ating index of summation is 1. So, how about here? Y sub 1 squared, y sub 2 squared, y sub 3 squared, and then y to the n squared. So, here, our n is the n. And then, nag-start tayo sa 1. So, yun yung ating index. Since, kung mapapansin nyo, naka-raise to 2, so, ibig sabihin, ang formula natin dito ay naka-raise to 2 din. At kung ginamitan ng variable y, then, y pa rin yung gagamitan natin dito. How about this one? Okay, kung mapapansin nyo dito, sa series natin, dito, walang number nakalagay. Dito, biglang may 2. Dito, biglang may 3. So, ibig sabihin, series siya. So, lalagay natin yung I. And then, parenthesis, dahil yung A natin ay nakaseries din, A1, A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3. So, gagawin din natin dito ay A sub I. And then, yung B natin ay nakaganon din, nakaseries. So, lalagay natin dito ay B sub I. Dahil lahat sila ay plus, so gagayahin lang din natin. So, this will be the formula. So, it start with 1 and end with 3. So, ibig sabihin, 3 observations lang siya. Okay, again, practice. To understand better. N is the number of values given. Ito yung huli. I is the index of summation. It means to start. And then, dito ay ilalagay lang natin ang formula. So, express in sigma notation. Yan, ano napansin natin? So, first observation, 1. Pagdating sa second observation, naging 2, naging 3. So, ibig sabihin, ang formula natin ay, ayan. So, we have 6 observation, that, ayan. And then, start with 1. So, I times x sub I. Bakit? Kasi I, nag-start tayo 1, 2, 3, hanggang 6. And then, x sub I, nag-start sa x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, hanggang x sub 6. Next, expand in summation. Ayan. Paano kapag ganito? Paano natin siya i-expand? So, analyze natin. Mag-start daw tayo sa range natin ng 1. Mag-e-end tayo sa 7. So, dahil yung x sub I, ayan, naka-I siya, ibig sabihin, ito ay x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, hanggang x sub 7. At kung mapapansin nyo, ito din ay I. So, ibig sabihin, mag-i-start ka rin sa 1. So, paano natin siya isusulat? So, that becomes x sub 1 plus 1, x sub 2 plus 2, x sub 3 plus 3. So, kung mapapansin nyo, x sub I natin, x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, x sub 4, x sub 5, x sub 6, x sub 7. Kung mapapansin ninyo rin dito, I natin, plus I. So, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, and plus 7. Dahil tayo ay merong 7 observation. So, that is how we write or expand the summation formula. Next, theorems about summation. For Theorem 1, the summation of an expression which has two or more quantities is equal to the sum of their summation. So, paano yun? Ayan. So, kung mapapansin natin, marami siyang formula. So, pwede rin natin siyang i-indicate na kunin natin yung summation ng first term, kukunin natin yung summation ng second term, and then kukunin natin yung summation ng third term. So, paano yun? So, ayan, n, summation of n observation that ranges from 1 to the nth term. So, dahil naka-formula siya, so, ito rin yung susundan natin, i-squared lang natin. Ito, walang squared, and then 2. So, pwede raw natin siyang i-rewrite as summation of each quantities. Next, ito dalawa lang. So, ganun ulit. I-expand lang din. So, anong napansin nyo? Kunin natin yung summation ng first term and then kukunin natin yung summation ng second term. So, yung total summation ng first term minus the total summation of the second term. So, yun din yun. Theorem 2. The summation of a constant multiplied by a variable is equal to the constant multiplied by the summation of variable. So, ayan. Ito. So, halimbawa, meron tayo nito, 2x sub I. So, pwede rin ilalabas natin si 2, and then yung summation given dito, pagka sinob mo, ay equal din siya sa solution natin. So, ibig sabihin, i-add muna natin to and then multiply it by the constant. So, later, I'll be giving more examples. So, dito sa number 2, 3 ang ating constant. So, ganun lang din, ilalabas natin muna si constant. And then, pwede natin daw i-add muna or kung i-add up muna yung nasa summation and then, tsaka natin siya i-multiply sa constant. Then, third, the summation of a constant taken from 1 to n is equal to n multiplied by a constant. So, katulad nito. So, let's say b is the constant. So, this is the same as b times the n. So, kung ano yung constant mo, kung constant lang yung ating formula dito, ibig sabihin, i-multiply mo lang lagi siya sa n or sa number of terms or sa number of observations. So, example, ayan. Let's say 5 is the constant. I-multiply lang natin siya sa 6 observation. Kahit nag-start siya sa range ng 1, dahil wala namang series yung ating formula, i-multiply lang natin. So, 5 times 6 is 30. So, let's try. For the given variables, x sub 1, x sub 3, y sub 1 to y sub 3, and then z sub 1 to z sub 3. Ayan. So, find the value. So, based on the theorem 1, pwede daw natin muna silang ihiwa-hiwalay. So, kunin muna natin yung summation ng first term, and then summation ng second term, third term, and fourth term. So, paano yun? Yan, first term, second term, third term, and last term. So, eto, na-simplify na siya agad yung last term. Kasi, yung sa theorem 3 natin, kapag constant, Kapag constant, ibig sabihin, imumultiply mo lang daw sa n natin. Then, solve natin yung first term. Ito yung first term. So, x sub I start with 1. Dahil x, sa x tayo titingin. So, x sub 1 is 5. Ihiwalay muna natin si 5. Add muna natin yung 2 plus 4 plus negative 6. So, saan galing yun? So, 1, 2, 3. X sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3. Ayan yun. And then, may constant tayo sa labas. Multiply lang natin. So, 2 plus 4 plus negative 6 is 0. So, 5 times 0 is 0. So, this is the sum of the first term. Second term is 2 times y sub I ranges from 1 to 3. So, again, ang constant natin ay 2. So, multiply it by y sub I. So, y sub 1 to y sub 3. So, titingin naman na tayo dito sa values ng mga y. So, substitute natin 4, negative 2, and 10. 4 plus negative 2 plus 10, we will get 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So, ibig sabihin, 24 is the summation of the second term. Next, third term, summation of z sub I. So, again, wala naman siyang constant. So, yung z sub I lang kukunin natin. So, si z sub 1 to z sub 3, substitute lang natin. 5 plus negative 1 plus 7. The result is 11. So, 11 is the sum of the third term. Then, ito na yung constant. May constant tayo dito. And then, multiply lang sa n. So, 6 times 3 is 18. So, that will be the fourth term. Then, we can now add 0 minus 24 plus 11 minus 18. The result is negative 31. So, thank you. That will be all for today.